Welcome fellow gamers, my name is Dune Mountain, and in today's video I'm going to talk about an identity crisis that BattleBit Remastered is possibly going through. One that has the potential to completely change the core mechanics and identity that BattleBit already has created for himself. These rumors have been circulating for a while now, and in some of the dev streams there has been some comments and discussions about this possible change in direction. And since the release of BattleBit, some subtle changes have already been made to the game mechanics that shows their intent. And the core of this identity crisis is, will BattleBit keep being a more of an arcade first-person shooter or more of a milsim tactical game? But before jumping into any conclusions, let's analyze what is happening right now. But first, let's get just a little bit back in time. BattleBit Remastered was initially created as a milsim game, to add some context, more like a squad or an insurgency sandstorm type of game. Tactical games are known to severely penalize gamers that try to rush too quick, or players that are lone wolves, because the idea of a tactical game, well, is also to be tactical, is a simulation of what sometimes could happen in real life. And the devs of BattleBit always had envisioned their game that way. BattleBit was a completely different game back then. The idea was to have a milsim game that could run in almost all computers, that at the time there was almost no competition in that genre. The majority of tactical games back then needed you to have a decent PC to run them. But BattleBit also had a long journey.
That's the key. Breathe.
Until its release in mid-2023, and along the way the devs molded this game into the game that we know now, an arcade game with some little remains of milsim mechanics, for a lack of better words, more like a Battlefield kind of game. And at the time, Battlefield was struggling with their latest game, Battlefield 2042, so the devs of BattleBit seized the moment to launch their game. And since its release, BattleBit was always seen as the game that Battlefield 2042 should have been. And it was also because of that that I became interested in this game, and like me, a lot of other gamers. Now, as a content creator, I understand perfectly that when you have a vision of something that you have created, you put also something that is part of you in that same creation.
And into this ring, he poured his cruelty, his malice.
And the devs of BattleBit probably did the same. And when you see yourself doing something that you didn't imagine doing, well, it can be frustrating. And because of all of that, we have reached today's dilemma. I really don't want to be in the shoes of the devs right now, because I know that it's hard for players to imagine BattleBit as anything else that we already know. An arcade game where you can jump after a hard day's work, to chill for a couple of hours, to do crazy stuff alone or with your friends, without being penalized by not having the time to really follow strict rules, master more difficult mechanics, and where standoffs can take several minutes instead of 2 days. Go now, let's see what happens later. If the devs remake the entire game into something else right now, there is a big probability that they can alienate a big majority of the base players. And those that come from time to time, they will not recognize the game that they have bought. On the other hand, I also understand that the devs that being in a project that they don't see themselves in it is difficult, and the lack of desire for the game can hurt the creation of new content and the progress of the game because of it. But right now, it's only an open discussion, no real decision has been made. And even some of the most recent milsim mechanics added to the game, like the sound muffle, that when you get hit by a nade or your health gets low, you can listen to any sound of enemy players close to you. It will be taken down for further analysis. In my modest opinion, I love the game like it is, and I don't really want to see this game change in a different direction. The only thing that I see that could please everyone would be to create a new game mode, only for the milsim mechanic. But with all due respect, I just don't know the capacity for the 3 devs to create a new game mode with new mechanics, and having to create new updates to balance things and content for 2 different games. Only one game must give a lot of work every day. I can't imagine 2 games how much work will give for the 3 devs. But I can be mistaken, and since BattleBit is a low polygon game and easier to create new content in comparison with a AAA game, maybe they can pull it off. But either way, only the future will tell. So please tell me in the comment section, what do you think about all of that? Do you like the game like it is, more arcade, or would you like to have a BattleBit more in a tactical scenario? And I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if so, consider to leave a like or dislike. It really helps the channel grow and reach other players. And if you don't want to miss future content, please consider to subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all on my next video, but until then, have a nice day, good gaming, Dune Mountain out.